Okay, so here we go. I picked up this game on the Steam summer sale for I think $3.50, and it was originally $5, but it's supposed to be sort of like Vampire Survivors. I played it a couple times, and I thought I would just go through one session of gameplay and talk about what I think and see if it goes pretty well. Okay, so you start with sort of a warrior class who's melee, and I unlocked this ranger class, sort of like an Amazon, I guess. And this guy seems to be a little bit easier, but the overall theme of this game, I would say, is that it's way more brutal than Vampire Survivors. Let's see. I'm gonna go full damage glass cannon. So yeah, if you've ever played Vampire Survivors or Brotato or these sort of like You Are the Bullet Hell games, the theme is basically, as you progress through the game, you become this unstoppable, killing machine that's got crap all over the screen, flying everywhere, and you're completely overpowered. I've sort of not had that experience with this game. It seems to be a little bit more tame and a lot more difficult to beat the game, at least with what you're provided in the beginning. Let's see. Attack speed. So yeah, I've played around with a couple different builds. It seems that the scaling of the monsters in this game very easily will outscale your damage, even if you're choosing pure damage power-ups. And I don't know if that's something that changes later on as you get more gear and the permanent progression system kicks in a little bit more, but yeah, this game gets really hard about 10 or 15 minutes into it. I've never beaten it, and I haven't really experienced a big variety of power-ups. It seems like there's only 4 or 5 that I've gotten, and the frequency in which you get them is not very quick. It's not like Vampire Survivors where you get something different every single time you level up, or Brotato after every wave. This seems to be a little bit more modest, and you rely more on just having a couple abilities. And I haven't fully upgraded one yet, so let's do this. So yeah, the rogue class, it seems to do a lot more damage, and the piercing arrows is a little bit better quality of life, but you have worse defenses. I think you start with 500 health with the warrior, and you probably have different base defense stats, so that when you get hit, it takes a smaller chunk of health. But as far as gameplay goes, it runs very well. Let's see if I can check the battery without dying. 5.5 hours. So it's got very, well, now 5 hours now. It's got very good battery life, right? It's not using a lot of juice here. It looks a lot like Diablo 2. Obviously, I think that that was their aesthetic inspiration. I think it looks really cool. I like that it's more zoomed out. Just keep damage. I really like that a lot. I could see a lot more. These blob enemies seem to have a ton of horizontal movement to the point where sometimes I feel like it's impossible for me to not get hit. And if you can tell here, in all these games like Vampire Survivors, Brotato, they sort of just have auto aim that hits the nearest enemy. One cool thing about this game is I can actually use the right joystick and direct my fire. And if you want to, you can actually turn off auto fire, so you won't shoot unless you press right trigger or something. That's a little bit too much for me, but I do like to be able to direct the fire a bit. So in my experience, these orbs are way better than any of the other power-ups that I've gotten. One thing that I don't like, that I did notice, is that every time you go into a menu, so like if you pause, or if you level up, or what you just saw, there seems to be this slowdown delay. Let's do crit health, crit chance. Where, watch, I'll unpause and you can see I'm sort of slow right when I get out of the pause menu, right there. And there's no iframes when you level up and you come out of the menu, and there's not a lot of iframes when you get hit. So I've actually died because I leveled up when I had low health, and the slowdown coming out of that menu was enough for an enemy to catch up to me and kill me. I really don't like that. I think I would say that's a bug, and hopefully they fix that in the future, or add iframes or something. Damage, more damage. So it might seem like I'm going overkill with the damage, but you'll see that the enemies, their defense scales so quickly, and I will go pure damage now, and it'll still outscale my damage, you know, in a few minutes, where it's going to take multiple hits for me to kill things. And the bosses, you know, there's times where I just haven't been able to kill them at all. Okay, so let's slowly make our way to this thing down here. I can't really point to it, but you see that thing in the bottom left of the screen? That's another power-up that's just sitting there for me to take, and it's giving me an indication. Okay, so these just regular skeletons are kind of squishy. I'm gonna buff these orbs as much as possible. I haven't survived long enough to be able to fully upgrade one of the power-ups, and I'm not sure if it's like the other games where when you get to the max level, it's got some kind of additional mechanic that it adds that fundamentally changes how it works. I'm hoping so, and I'm hoping these orbs are kind of like the King Bible in Vampire Survivors, where it's basically a permanent force field around you. Looks like it's gonna storm outside. I don't know if you guys can hear that thunder. Let's see. I'm just gonna go out with it, I guess. So yeah, if anybody here has played this game or has any tips, feel free to leave them in the comments. I did complete this quest where this guy, I unlocked his jail cell, and now apparently I can get items. Some of the boss enemies will drop gear, and you can see that I have, you know, gear right here that I'm wearing, and I can select this gear at the beginning, these 3 pieces, to wear every time that I have a run. But for like rings and amulets and helmet, I guess I can find them in the game, and then somehow I can put them in this well that I've never seen yet, and I'll have them available permanently. So I don't know if that bucket in the top right that you can see, I don't know if that's the well. It might be, but I have yet to survive long enough to be able to actually do that. So I'm hoping that as I get more coins through failing these runs, I'll be able to get enough progression to kind of cheese my way and do a good run. I also don't understand how these devil enemies work. They like get close to me and then they run away. And I don't really know how, if they're not supposed to be in danger, if they're just like free ponies or something, but they don't seem to ever really hit me. So, wow. I don't know if that's coming up through the microphone, but it's about to go down outside. Okay, so we're not getting any offense there. I need to sit up straighter. I'm going to have a curved back if I keep punching over like that. I'm holding the Steam Deck and staring at the capture card output on my monitor. So I swear this is running on the Steam Deck. You can see it's running in 60 frames. I've never had performance problems with this. Like I said, I don't think it's very hardware expensive. So hopefully this guy's got the purple mechanic for damage. Yeah, this. I actually really like this a lot. I think it's a very fair way to do boss mechanics where it sort of telegraphs where the damage is going to come and then I have to dodge it. I think it's really neat. Whoop, I almost got hit by that. So see how I've taken every damage power-up that I could possibly have been offered and it's not really doing that much damage to this boss? It scales even harder than that. Like, if I continue to get damage, these bosses, they'll have multiple health bars where once I exhaust one health bar, whoops, I guess those devils do hurt. It will have a second full health bar, and it's gotten to the point where I've fought bosses for, honestly, I think maybe 5 minutes straight and never killed them, didn't even get close to kill them, and then the other boss spawned because the timer just dictates when bosses come, and by that time I die because there's just too many bosses and enemies together. Just screwing up my mission with that map or power up. So if I think when we kill this guy, he's gonna give me an item. Yeah, this is an item. Alright, so now we have a helmet. Defense, health capacity, let's just do that. So I can put that item in a well somehow. Wow. I guess I'll go take that range. So now I need to get some health. Nope, there's no potion in this. That fire that you knock over does a ton of damage to enemies. And there's a power-up that's like these chakrams that shoot out that are like permanent fire. So I think I'm getting closer to this because the angle of incident is changing quickly. There we go. Oh crap. Wow, that chunked me. So these splinters right here. So watch when I get out of this menu, it's going to slow me down, and I bet I get hit again. I did not get hit again, but it slowed me down. So here's another boss now. So those chakrams right there are nuts. Here we go. Boom. Upgrade them. So eventually we'll get to a point where there's this blue enemy, and he's got a shield, and when you go through his full health bar, he just drops the shield, he's got a whole other health bar, secret one. So I think maybe we'll go try and get to that bucket icon and see if that's the well, if we can put our helmet in the well. Oh crap. Oop, nope, got it. Okay, so maybe we are doing some good damage to this guy. He's dying a little faster. There's not a lot of AoE damage that's killing the other enemies. See, now I can aim there and get my escape route open quicker. Yes, he didn't drop anything. Okay, these mages are a little bit sketchy, but they shoot this purple, pink thing. 30% damage. I think I'm gonna do that. I like how you can see the cooldown on the right too of the shotgun. So I think that was like a little chicken drumstick that gave me health maybe. I wasn't really paying attention to my health before that. But pickup range is very important in this game because the damage is so low relative to enemy health that there's a lot of situations where you're just never going to get back into the pack of experience coins here. Whoops, that was too close to this. Past it. Make my escape. Multi-hit. I actually don't understand that multi-hit. I think maybe if you get enough multi-hit, you get a third arrow that shoots out. Before we head to the bucket. See, this is how it gets. You know, after a certain point, you don't have enough damage to actually kill enemies. So you get this giant ball that you sort of just rotate around, and you have to have enough pickup range to be able to get the fruits of your labor. Piercing. That might help a lot. Okay, so I guess we're going to slowly make our way to the bucket and see if we can put our helmet in the bucket, if that's how it works. Let's just go quickly, I guess. It's going to take too long to kill those things. There are these, it seems like in a lot of these games there's a vacuum pickup you can get that sucks up all the experience orbs that you didn't manage to pick up, and hopefully we'll grab one of those. I think that's what that is in the top right, that other icon. I think that is a vacuum. But you can also get the vacuum as a random pickup from these barrels. So hopefully we'll get a nice round pickup. So this is actually probably the best dance. So here's the guy I was talking about, by the way. This is the dude who has 2 health bars. Base crit chance. So see how, like, I'm doing so little damage to this guy. And I don't even know if he's gonna drop anything. Like the last guy that we fought, he didn't drop a damn thing. Let's kill this mage. The mages I need to prioritize. They're dangerous. And the piercings help him. But this guy's got a second health bar after the shield goes down. Wow, that thunder's getting louder. I don't even hear it now. Hopefully my power doesn't go out. Because I guess I won't lose the recording. We're actually doing pretty well here. Let's get it back in here, please. So hopefully we don't get into the boss here by the time this guy dies, because that's happening. Okay, so now he's dead. So the second health bar is obviously relatively less. It looks like he's sped up quite a bit. I should have dragged him through those chakrams. Okay, so he did drop a thing. So I've seen all these. It seems like there's only 5 possible power-ups. This has never really done anything well for me. I'm gonna get the ring blades, I think. I'm just gonna go full on AoE. Nope, no vacuum. Okay, so let's get to this bucket. Yeah, I really like the aesthetic. Multi-hit, duration. Applies to the main character and abilities. Summonings, but not effects. I guess we'll do this. Yeah, but so far I think that I haven't taken to it as fast as I have Brotato or Vampire Survivors, and basically I would recommend this if you already have exhausted those two games. Like for me right now, it's a little bit boring to play Vampire Survivors because I just know how to win, right? Like if you pick up certain things, it's basically impossible to lose. Brotato's a little bit harder. Brotato, certain of the characters, the potatoes, are like so much stronger to me. Like the engineer, right? Like it's hard for me to justify if I wanted to get a win just for fun or whatever. It's hard for me to justify playing anything other than the engineer. It's just completely insane how good those players are. So maybe this gets like this. I have a feeling that there's a third class here, and one cool thing about this game too is that the power-ups are transparent. So there's another totem that I'll show you after this. It's called quests, and you can see what quests you need, but I don't think it shows what the rewards are. So I'm not quite sure if without Googling you can figure out how to get a third class if there is one. Astronomer's Orbs, so that fire just wrecks everything. I really was hoping that there would be a fire power-up, kind of shoots that fire out by itself. Okay, I think we're getting closer to the bucket. I can't believe I'm not getting hit. I'm gonna get hit. Dang, they're protecting the bucket. I'm gonna have to change my mission here. The route is blocked. We might as well go back to get the experience orb that we didn't have a chance to pick up. Ring blades. I'm just gonna, every time I have an ability, a chance to buff an ability, I'm gonna take it. So hopefully we can get one to max level and see if it's got some kind of interesting mechanic. So my big fat head is in the way of the bucket, and I don't think I have the dexterity to get the bucket. Oh man, that was a lot of damage. I wish I had iframes on damage too, so you couldn't get like one shot. Okay, this is the well, I think. Yes. Leave one item here. Yes. And retrieve it to this. Okay, cool, nice. That's what the bucket is, nice. So now I can use that item whenever I want. Duration. So it's pretty brutal, right? Like I lose that item for the rest of this run. Here's the purple thing. I think that this is an awesome mechanic. I really think this is well done. The way the mechanic works. It's kind of like how MMOs are, right? Like Final Fantasy 14, where it's got like the indicated ground. And I think the delay is very fair. So I've never gotten past the next boss. The next boss is one of those mages, but he's a boss. And he shoots like a multi-shot of the pink fireballs. And it's just, wow, I mean, it's just so lethal. Oh wow, you hear that? That's lightning. It's been raining and lightning a lot here lately. I haven't been able to go outside. Blade size? Okay, sure. Hopefully that's coming up on the mind. It's actually kind of cool. This gives me an excuse to not go outside. There's a, I don't know if you guys watch UFC, but there's a big UFC now that I'm excited about. Let me know if you guys watch UFC in the comments. Bo Nichols fighting, who I really like that style of fighter. Middleweight I think is a good weight because it's down thick, so I can relate to the way the guys look, and I like the wrestlers a lot. Please drop something good. So I could put another thing in pretty fast. Cause I wonder if I can use the well again. Oh, the indicator's gone. Maybe my head is in the way. Wow, those are fast. I don't understand how I was supposed to stop that. So my damage is actually, I think this is the best my damage has been. I'm pretty sure. Man, maybe I should have gone health regen. If I went health regen, I wouldn't be able to survive this. I would just be mobbed. So this is actually the best I've done damage-wise, I think, out of all the runs. Look at that purple one. I need a vacuum. Bad. buffing all of our power-ups. Okay, so now I'm actually starting to wreck. It'd be cool if there was like a vampiric touch, like a life leech. Okay. See, like this, like I don't know how I could have gotten through that. Like I took every single opportunity I've had to increase my damage, I've taken it, and it's not even close to enough to get through those traps like that. So I think maybe this game is balanced on you getting a little bit further on the permanent progression track. But it's kind of lame that, you know, you're just sort of like doomed for the beginning portion of the game. It's not really capturing my desire to keep playing with, you know, you're so handicapped at the start that I guess I need to start going health regen because I'm not getting any potions. But, you know, the way that the enemy's defenses scale, I think is a little bit aggressive. You know, that being said, maybe it's very hard to balance with the end game, but there's multiple maps, right? It'd be nice if the beginner map didn't necessarily assume that you had played the game for dozens of hours and you maxed out the permanent progression tracks, so that you know, the best defense and the best attack and all that stuff. I think it's a little bit too hardcore, just for me personally. Not that I'm not the worst at these, I'm not the best, but I have played a lot of these games. I like them a lot, this genre, and I think that this is a little bit more punishing than I expect in a game like this, and it takes away from the enjoyment a bit from me. But maybe that'll change. I'm going to stick with this game, and I'm going to play a little bit more to see if I can get a third class. Maybe if I don't naturally unlock it, I'll cheat and Google it or something, figure out how to get that class. Oh, not just in the vacuum. Wow, that's a lot. Piercing. Oh, my power doesn't go out. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's really coming down outside. Oh, my power doesn't go out for the UFC. I guess I could watch on my phone. With mobile data or something. Wow, look at how many little coins I got from that magnet. See, like, I'm not, like, I think I might be there. I don't know how you're supposed to have enough damage to get out of this. I'm just gonna go left. I'm just gonna keep shooting left. There's the mage guy that I've never beaten. Watch him shoot. Oh my god. Like, this is insane, right? Like, this scaling here. Maybe there's a way to max dodge, so I just don't get hit even though I'm running into enemies. I wish that there was life leech too. What are your afraid that my power to go out? It's really storming outside. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I think we're getting to the end, fellas. There's no way. I needed a health potion afterwards. Maybe these have health potion? Come on. There's a chicken leg or carrot or something. How did I not get hit there? Now I kind of need that vacuum, I think. Nice health potion. That was good. This is crazy. Damage. Yeah, damage, I guess. We just need maximum damage. Like, see, I have not even dented that mage. I'll never kill him, right? Like, there's no opportunity for me to even focus that mage down. It's just so hectic and things aren't dying. And so I think, yeah, like, if you play these games like I do to feel like some kind of unstoppable, unkillable god, this is not the game that's going to give you that sensation, right? At least not in the sort of first couple hours experience. Okay, so it looks like we did survive that wave. I don't know where the heck that mage is. He just sort of went home. We're just gonna keep going damage. See, like now, like look at this. Like I'm hitting these things multiple times and they're just not dying, right? And we've only maxed out damage. So the way that these enemies' health and defenses scale is you can't catch up to it, right? I think that it's way too aggressive, and they should, at least in the beginner map, that the first map that people can play, I think that it needs a little bit more balance, in my personal opinion, to make it easier. I think that maybe the developers and the playtesters are so familiar with the game, or they started with stats that gave them more of an advantage than the beginner, that this is just not something that motivates me to continue playing, right? Like, if I at least had some kind of crazy set of power-ups where, crap's flying all over the screen, I'm just destroying everything, and it still is difficult, then it would be more fun, but this is pretty basic, right? Like, 20, this is the longest I've survived, I think. Okay, so here's how you can see what the unlocks are. Unlocks, okay, yeah, so this tells us what we can unlock. Cleric, defeat the Lich. So you have to kill maybe the last boss of the map or something, and you get another character. So that's the only character that's explicitly stated. So you have to defeat the Lich. So it looks like you probably have to beat that map. So then you come over here, and this is your permanent progression system here. So there's nothing here that's explicitly offense. So maybe I'll just do movement speed, and that's like a little bit of a defensive trait. Health regen. Okay, that's fine. And then this guy, I think I now have to buy back my... Oh, you have to buy it. I shouldn't have spent my gold. Yeah, that would have been a free helmet. Can I refund this? Refund, you can. Maybe I'll do that. But anyway, that is this game. Let me know if you've also played it, what you think. If you have any tips for me to not die as much, or maybe tell me a little bit of hints about if there's more abilities later on, or if they're coming or something. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. This is like Diablo meets Vampire Survivors, so hope you like it.